there's something to be learned from my experience, but more so for myself personally, having gone through it and made the decisions. But I first got a street bike back in 2002. Been riding motorcycles my whole life, right? So I know how to ride a bike, but never had a crotch rocket or any kind of street bike. So I was using that to commute to work, and I think it must have been 2003 or 2004 when I got into my accident. And the commuting I was doing was actually all through, like, I guess they call it mid-city Los Angeles. So I was doing city streets is what I'm getting at. City streets, probably the most hazardous place to be on a motorcycle, because there's so much going on and everyone gets in accidents at intersections, and that's exactly what happened to me. Sunset and Gower, just as I entered the intersection, I was in the center of 3 lanes, and I was just about in the crosswalk when the guy coming the opposite direction decided he wanted to make his left turn onto Gower. And I had no time to react, right? I tried to slow down. There's no way. Well, I was going to say there's no way to swerve around it, but in retrospect, I think if I had been thinking a little bit more, I might have been able to avoid that accident, because I caught his rear quarter panel. So I didn't go into the side of his car, I went over the trunk, which is fortunate for me, but it also says that had I been a little bit better of a rider, I might have been able to swerve around that. I mean, you have almost no time to react, and your first inclination is to slow down. But at city street speeds, you might have actually been able to swerve around it. But that's actually the shortest part of this story, because you can't plan for that. I mean, you sort of can. You can expect that someone's going to do something crazy in front of you when, you know, you're at such a distance from them. You're like, clear, they must have seen me. They had to see me. But, you know, I had a geriatric turn in front of me, and that's the first thing he said is, "I didn't see you." Yeah, well, you found out. So what happened after that, it was at the corner. There was basically an auto body shop at the corner there, and not that that matters, but there were a few people there, and these guys I was talking to, after, you know, I talked to the police and the firemen, rolled my poor motorcycle onto the curb. Forks were totally bent, and these guys said, "Yeah, we've got a shop, you know, you can keep your scrap bike there until you know, until you can pick it up," because I didn't have a truck or anything. So I was like, sweet. And then they handed me a business card. They say, "Oh, we know this lawyer, you might need one." So I ended up calling this lawyer, and the first thing the lawyer does is said, "Go to the doctor immediately." So, you know, I'll just go ahead and throw up the red flags here without pointing them out. And I went to a chiropractor and got my physical therapy all worked out, and I ended up going to this chiropractor, I forget how often, at least once a week. And we'd back up just a little bit. After this accident, I didn't have any broken bones or anything like that, but I had a Charlie horse in my arm, a couple big bruises on my legs and my arms, and when I sat in a desk, my back got tired real fast. I had to always sort of prop myself up, and so I mean, I did get hurt. My back was never right after that accident. Now, partially, I wonder if the chiropractor did it. I was doing these physical therapy sessions, and I mean, I don't know if it made it happen, but it probably made it worse, or it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And it wasn't until like the last couple of years that my back hasn't bothered me, and mostly that's because of exercise. That's what my doctor was telling me after this whole ordeal, was that you really need to be working out your back muscles and doing more stretching, because it's all soft tissue damage. Anyway, so I was doing this chiropractor like all the time, and that lasted several months. And in that time, I keep calling the attorney. They keep telling me to call back to find out what's going on, because they need to work with the insurance company and figure out who's at fault and all this stuff. And this dragged out for 2 fucking years. I would call them, I swear to God, once a week. And every week they say, no, nothing, call back next week. And if you guys are going to be doing this to me, don't make me call back once a week. Be like, yeah, give me a couple weeks, give me a few weeks, then call back. I just felt like they were dicking me around. Now here's some other information. At least in California, when you get an attorney for a personal injury, they're entitled to a third of the whatever you're awarded from the insurance company. And you sign that contract, and you don't pay them anything. You pay them nothing, or you pay them a third of whatever you win. And so this thing, you know, there's a 2-year statute of limitations. So we're coming up on that 2 years, and I'm getting pissed. Like, what the fuck? I want my motorcycle, I want my money, I'm fucking broke. I work some shitty job, I can't afford any of this stuff. And right as that 2-year statute of limitations comes up, they file with the courts. And what I did not know until then was that if it goes to court, they're entitled to 40%. So now you see where I'm going with this. These fuckers knew that the best way to get the maximum amount of money out of this tiny little personal injury, like, I went to a chiropractor, right? There weren't like massive doctor bills. There was just that physical therapy session, which was probably overcharged and whatever. So these fucks made sure it went to court. And as soon as papers were filed, the insurance company settled. How convenient, right? So that's fucked up, right? You really need to vet out your attorney and choose your own doctor if you need one, and all that stuff. I mean, I was insured, you know, I had medical insurance through my work. I probably should have definitely gone through them. I mean, I did actually. After the chiropractor was done, my back was still fucked, so I actually went and saw my doctor about that, and that's where they told me, you know, to start exercising your back. Okay, so that's one shitty facet of this whole experience. The other part of this is, so these guys who helped me hang on to my bike after the accident, because the thing wouldn't roll, right? I didn't have a truck. They gave me the impression that it was no big deal, right? They've got an auto body shop down on it's La Brea, and like La Brea in Venice or something. No, Olympic. Anyway, so they've had this bike there for months, and it's like, you know what? Just give it back to me. I'm going to salvage it. There's not a lot of work on it, and they wouldn't give it back to me. It's this one fucker, Angel, or Angel. And the reason was, he was trying to extract money from the insurance company as well. Storage fees. And And I fought him. I ended up taking him to court, to small claims court. And I did my research. I was like Mr. California Vehicle Code Master. And I knew how much money he was entitled to. He actually, this is where it came to a head, is that he actually put a lien hold on the bike for storage fees. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking serious. No, he's serious. You gotta be kidding me. God, I can't even speak proper English to the people. So that was a huge mess. And at that time, man, I was drinking. I was so depressed. I'm a very calm and level-headed person. But when I went to talk to him personally, my friend is a cop, and I brought him with me. He was such an asshole that my friend even tried to mediate the thing, and he was like, I'm not talking to you, and he's totally ignoring him. I've never wanted to punch a person so bad in my life. I mean, I could have... Oh, it's making me angry thinking about it right now. So what ended up happening is I took him to small claims court. And finally we went to court day. And I brought contracts with me. I think I must have talked to him. There's a certain amount of money that he actually spent himself. Forget what it's for. I think he actually had someone estimate how much work it was going to need to be done on the bike to actually get it running again. And then there's the price of the bike as it is. And we ended up settling out of court. So when the court day came up, they asked what, I forget how it all worked, but basically we told them we settled. We don't need to actually go through with it. So I sold him my busted ass bike for like, I can't even remember how much it was, next to nothing. So everybody, the vulture just came in, surrounded me, and started picking my carcass. It was awful. And the only silver lining in this whole thing was that one day I got a call from a tow truck or towing company, towing yard, and I think must have gone through the DMV to do this, and they said, yeah, we've got your motorcycle here at the yard, and it's been here for so long, you need to come pay for it and get it out. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what you're talking about. And it turned out that I didn't file that paperwork with the DMV that disclaims liability. And this guy who bought my bike did actually fix it up. And then he got himself arrested and he went to jail. And so the bike got impounded. And it just sat there. And I had halfway the thought of just going down there, paying the money, and getting the bike back. Because legally, that shit was mine. Because that dude never filed any paperwork. I don't know what the deal was. Was he writing it unregistered for a couple years? Like, of course I didn't do that. I actually filed paperwork with the DMV and made sure it wasn't my responsibility anymore. So what are your takeaways from this experience? First of all, don't trust anyone. Anyone offers help to you, don't take it. You need to go find your own help. Even if it's a family friend or somebody who's like, yeah, I know an attorney, go talk to them. And maybe talk to several of them. Then, if you're injured, not seriously, not like emergency injury, go see your own doctor. Go through your own insurance. And get the proper health care you need. And if you have an attorney that's dicking you around, fire him. Get another one. Your time is worth more to you than it is to them. And then, I guess this goes along with the first point, not trusting anybody. Nobody's doing you any favors. If they say they're doing you a favor, you gotta assume that they're in it for their own interests, especially if you don't know them. That's my experience. It's the worst thing ever. I think in the end, I came out with something under 10 grand in my pocket. Which by then I had gotten a new job, and I was making a little more money, so I ended up buying a new car, which I also needed. Well, that's the deal. Hopefully you don't have to go through anything like this. Use your head. Use your head. Alright, Mr. Mustang, you're going first.